Hey, I'm Tracy Peterson, and let's start with dessert first. One, all video platforms on the internet are commoditized. Two, sometimes they have their own internal communication teams or the creative teams, and they'll offer them to you to use on your first video streams. Three, don't do that. Look for the best production team partner that you can possibly afford and find to make sure that your corporate communications are both entertaining, informative, and enjoyable for the audience and made to the highest quality standards. That's not to say that the people inside those companies aren't super great. Sometimes they are, but make sure you're getting what you want and that you don't get a $10 tattoo. Five, if your platform offers you an engineering asset, take it. They know how to get to their platform better than anybody else, and they know exactly the questions to ask about your internet connectivity, your space, your power, all of that stuff that you might need to get video from the creative team all the way to the distribution team. Now, let's have the rest of the story. There are a huge number of platforms for video distribution. In fact, I made another video about that. You can check it out. The fact is that they're hard to pick from, and there's lots of different features, but overall, the actual delivery process is commoditized. Whether you pay for it or whether you get it for free, you can pretty much rely on a consistent level of service, a consistent level of pricing, comparative pricing across similar products. Now, the thing is that you have to differentiate between content creation and platform. This is a huge issue. This is the point of the video. All of those things, all of those sites, Facebook, Twitter, whatever location you're actually getting the video out to the users, those are platforms. They're not in any way related to content creation. They can. And there's lots of very talented content creators working for some of these platforms. Definitely Twitch, for instance, which creates a lot of its own content. And on one hand, it's frustrating for people like me who are independents because those sites tend to compete a little bit with their own internal teams. But here's the thing. For the commoditized side of the world, you shouldn't use their teams. You shouldn't have them do their productions. There's a lot of places, and I'm not going to name any names, that have their own internal team. And when you first start creating video and you first start working on video production in your in-house strategy, then you might not have the assets on site. You might not have the people that you need in order to create compelling video for your customers' consumption. This being the case, a lot of times companies that provide video conferencing or video broadcasting platforms may offer you, if you're large enough sometimes, or if you have a large enough account with them as a senior partner or a strategic partner, they might offer you a service wherein somebody comes and produces your show and then delivers it to the platform. Now, these people will have cameras and audio and lights and all other stuff. Now, the thing is that there are people who have done this for 20 years, even before streaming began, and there's people who've done it only since streaming began, right? You want to go with people who have experience. You want to go with the people who have studied this a lot longer, because the content creation part has been around for years and years and years and years, whereas the streaming part is just a different flavor of broadcast. So people who have made television commercials, people who have broadcast television before, those are people who you want to employ to do streams as well. Some of the best in the business are those who exist in other teams, like Comcast has a team that does live events. They're amazing. They do concerts and stuff too. I mean, and to watch these guys operate on a concert it's surgical. It's amazing. And a lot of these teams that are coming from the sales organizations on these web services platforms, they're good and they know how to get video to the platform, but they're not often the highest quality content. And they're not thinking about content as much as they are about just getting the video to the platform itself. Now, that doesn't mean I'm saying never get somebody's help from those platforms. I'm saying as a production team, you should look at production teams who are creative and who have a long track record of creating great live productions. That's who you want to run your show. Now, if your platform has individuals who work for them who are dedicated to going on site and helping you make sure that you get the highest quality video from whatever the mixing equipment is all the way to the platform, if they have those people by all means, have them come out, have them make sure, have them monitor the connections, have them do the pre-production, have them ask the questions about what kind of network connections you need, what kind of video signal will be coming out of the machine, how will it be transcoded to the appropriate formats, will they be able to test it ahead of time? All those questions that are super important for a streaming engineer to ask, that's who should ask it. And you should definitely take that help if it's offered from those folks. So to reiterate everything that I said, I'm not saying that there aren't super talented creative teams at these commoditized platforms houses. What I'm saying, though, is that be very careful in selecting your production team, because whether it's an internal team or a studio that's been open for a long time on their own, make sure that you look at their show reel, look at who's directing, find out who's going to do the work, find out what their plan is. Just do a little bit of discovery. Make sure you're comfortable with their art direction. Make sure they're comfortable with the way they handle your corporate message. That is the most important thing. You want your audience to be both entertained and informed, and to have fun interacting with your brand. And really, it takes a very unique talent and a lot of skill to pull that off. So I recommend that you focus on that part of the discussion very highly. Now, on the commodity side, if you're working with a platform and they offer you a technical engineer asset to work with you, by all means, bring them on. Use the heck out of that asset. Make sure that technical portion is also as acute as any other portion of the production, because these things have to go hand in hand in the streaming world that we live in now. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon at ABC Society. Give us a call if you need anything in the world of streaming live digital video. We'll see you soon.